Hey everybody, welcome to GemsOnVogue.com. My name is Libby Floyd, and speaking of fabulous, we have for you today turquoise from the one, the only Paul DEASY, and from his fabulous collection called the Paul DEASY Collection. Hello, Mr. Paul DEASY. How are you all the way from Tampa, Florida?
If I were any better, I would be arrested.
I think that might have happened. I'm not sure what.
It should have, if it hasn't yet. No, the truth is, this this is turquoise, one of my favorite gemstones to talk about. One of my favorite gemstone mines to visit. And we have Sleeping Beauty with Kingman. We have a lot to talk about today.
And speaking of Kingman turquoise, because you and I think we debuted Kingman turquoise back in the day with each other, and it always sold out. This ring is going to knock the socks off of everybody watching this show. It's the largest that we have in the show today. It's the big Kingman turquoise ring. And talk about starting the show with a bang. It's going to be 6.21 carats. And you're showing it right there, Paul. That ring is so fabulous.
Well, I'll tell you what, you said, size matters, and it really does when we're talking about turquoise. Because this is not reconstituted, this is not compressed turquoise. This came from a single piece of rough out of that famous Kingman mine. I've said this many times before. It is the single most important operating turquoise mine in the world today, hands down.
And it's in Arizona.
Yeah, it's in Arizona. It's actually in a place called Golden Valley, Arizona, which is just north of the town of Kingman. It's actually, to go there, when we were filming there, you have to fly into Las Vegas. So after the JCK show, Judy and I headed over to the mine, and it can be brutally hot because the JCK show's usually in Las Vegas, brutally hot. So they wanted you there so that you could be done by like 11 in the morning or noon, because it can be really, really tough conditions.
Now, the Kingman turquoise is known for its Kingman blue. Is that what they call it, like the high blue Kingman blue?
Yeah, what's interesting about that is in my many travels and talking to Marty Kolbach. Now, he is the third generation turquoise miner. His son Josh is now the fourth generation turquoise miner from the Kolbach family. He told me, when you're there, if you're higher up in elevation, you get some more of the green colors of turquoise. Closer to the base of the mountain where the copper is, you get the bluer. But some of that blue can look very much like Sleeping Beauty.
Now this blue is majorly blue. It's robin's egg blue. They call it the Kingman blue, the high blue. And that stone, Paul, that you have in this amazing amount of sterling silver is so beautiful and so fabulous. And turquoise dates back in history as one of the oldest gemstones ever mined in the world. And it's a protective and it's a healing stone, isn't it?
No question. And you talked about one of the earliest mined gemstones, thousands and thousands of years ago, as early as recorded history. When you think about like the Persian turquoise over there in the kingdom that is now Iran, it was the Persian Empire. They've been mining it for a very, very long time. But this particular mine, and I want to talk about the size of this because you brought that up right away. We have a stone that is a 14 by 10. So huge. 14 by 10 is huge, and when you understand that most of the turquoise that's mined is probably going to end up in a 6 by 4 millimeter or smaller, every millimeter size you go up, the price goes up exponentially. And that's why when you buy direct from the manufacturer, which is what you're doing today, this is a silly price.
It really is silly. And the great thing, I'm glad you brought that up, because direct-to-consumer pricing, 3-year warranty when they shop GemsOnVogue.com, your entire collection is there. And we began your first collection with peridot, one of your favorite stones. Now we have turquoise, and we're talking about the turquoise mine, the Kingman mine in Arizona. They actually started finding parts of the turquoise like in 600 AD, back in that mine, didn't they? And then they really they were finding tools in 1962, and so it really has a lot of history behind it.
What's crazy about it, if you look about the entire southwest part of the United States, which is famous for its turquoise, best quality turquoise in the world, and I can say that unequivocally. But some of the caves in the southwest, they have found evidence of Chinese turquoise that was being traded thousands of years ago before there ever was a United States of America. So it really is a long and storied historical stone.
And this ring is brand new for our customers, which is so great. And like we were saying, a 6.21 full carat look on the finger with that Kingman turquoise. Also beautiful, gorgeous white topaz surrounding it. And Paul, tons of sterling silver, which I also love. You give our customers a lot of sterling silver, over 6 grams of precious sterling silver. And what a look on the finger, don't you think?
The reason I do that with that silver, I want there to be a minimum gram weight of silver, because I don't want you to be able to pinch the ring. It's really, really strong. You mentioned the white topaz that we put around there. I remember earlier in my career when I was designing, I would do a lot of let the turquoise kind of speak for itself. But I found that our customers really, really like when you dress up the turquoise, because it's not just the old belt buckles and things like that anymore. This is a vibrant, I'll say it, there's no such thing as a semi-precious gem in my book. This is a ring you're going to be proud to wear.
Okay, it's going to knock everybody's socks off. I'm telling you, it is fabulous. It's gorgeous. That Kingman High blue is beautiful. The beautiful white topaz, all the sterling silver. Let's talk about a little bit more simpler band ring. This could be a friendship ring, an everyday band ring. But let's move into a different mine in Arizona, in Globe, Arizona, called the Sleeping Beauty Mine. And my gosh, talk about one of the most revered mines in the world. And Paul, this mine shut down in 2012. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was June 30th of 2012. And it was funny, it was only probably 6 months before that time that Judy and I were filming there. And we were the last people ever to film in that mine. It was known as a robin's egg bluestone with virtually no matrix inclusions in there. Now, I'm not saying all the stuff that came out of there didn't have matrix, but they cut around that. It, I would say, was the biggest story in 2012. And we could not keep it in stock.
I remember prices were soaring exponentially as the mine was shutting down. It's crazy, wasn't it?
I'd never seen anything like it for like the 4 or 5 years previous to the shutdown of the mine. It was trading pretty regularly at $100 a pound. So if you bought a pound of rough, you would try and get a good yield out of that. It's about $100 a pound. And I remember when I spoke to Monty Nichols, who was the leaseholder, and I said, hey, listen, you know, we filmed you, or a lot of people are interested. I think we could do a really big job with this. And then he sort of laughed at me. And I said, what's so funny? He said, you know how much we pulled out of the mine? And I think this was in November. I talked to him in December of 2011. He said, we pulled out 2 buckets. Imagine a bucket is a 5-gallon bucket of rough. He said, we had 2 buckets come out of there.
Oh my goodness.
And he said, no, we don't have enough to go around. Well, shortly thereafter, the mine closed. Within the announcement on June 30th, it went from $100 to $300 a pound. So it tripled overnight.
Oh my goodness. So imagine what it costs now. But here at GEMSONESVOGUE.com, the prices were so good.
No, it went from $300 to a couple of weeks later to $600 to a couple of weeks later $1,200 a pound. Then it was trading $2,000, $3,000, and $4,000 a pound. Which brings me to my next very important point, Libby.
Are these certified?
Yes. You probably won't be able to read this, but I think we'll get a shot of that a little bit later. I always say you need to trust your source if you're going to be in the turquoise business, because there's a lot of shenanigans that go on, if I can use the word shenanigans.
You just did.
But the truth of the matter is you need to trust your source. Now, Michael Valatutti and I are using the same source right now. And his name is Mario Cimino. He's a famous gem cutter. He's really famous in the turquoise world. And I wanted him to certify that everything that we get from him originated when the mine was open. And by the way, the mine will never reopen. I want to make that very clear. A lot of people think, well, you know, mines close and they reopen. No, they did a big land reclamation. So the copper mine kicked them out. And now it's basically been bulldozed over and they're planting trees.
So there you go. So if you're looking for the finest turquoise in the world, everybody, come into GEMSONESVOGUE.com, get the Paul DEASY collection. Again, the Kingman turquoise is where we kicked the show off with, and with Sleeping Beauty turquoise. And Paul, you're going to have beautiful haircut stones going across the finger. You have 5 of those. They're 6x4 millimeter. Also beautiful sterling silver and that beautiful robin's egg blue. I mean, when you see Sleeping Beauty turquoise, you know it's Sleeping Beauty turquoise because it's so rich and so fabulous.
And so coveted throughout the world, not just here in the United States. All the buyers from China, from Israel, from India, they all want the Sleeping Beauty perfect robin's egg blue. Now, you mentioned pairs. We're alternating the tip up and down.
I love that.
You mentioned a great band ring. This would also make a great wedding band.
It would, wouldn't it?
A lot of people are going away from traditional diamonds and really going to stone stories for their band ring. And it's a beautiful, beautiful color.
And also December's birthstone. Maybe you're getting married in December. It's perfect for that as well. Could you stack two of these together, do you think?
Oh, absolutely. You could absolutely do that. And it's kind of a great first ring for somebody, because people that thought that maybe Sleeping Beauty was out of reach because of the way the prices have gone crazy. Again, we are the manufacturer. You're buying directly. There's no middleman. There's no shopping channel marking it up. It's direct to you. Sizes 5 through 12.
Perfect. I love that too.
And if you say, Libby, well, wait a minute, what about us half-size girls? Well, remember, you can always call customer service and say, request, can I get it sized? They will probably say yes. There'll be some nominal fee, but a lot less than you would pay a jeweler.
And on top of it, free shipping when they spend $75 or more. Love that too.
Which is automatic here, because this one is $85, which is great.
Yeah.
I mean, great for Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah.
But your free shipping is going to be gratis.
Now, I think Sleeping Beauty is waking up even more, because we have the most beautiful flower ring to talk about. Also brand new to the collection, brand new to our viewers who are watching GemStoneVogue.com. Everything there is online, and this ring is so fabulous. Had the beautiful paracut stones as well, Paul. In the center is a beautiful center stone that's going to be, I believe, is that a blue topaz or a white topaz? I don't have my glasses on.
On the band ring?
Yeah. No, on the flower ring.
It's a blue topaz. It's a Swiss blue.
Yeah, Swiss blue. So it's perfect with the Sleeping Beauty turquoise, which I also love. So here is the flower rings. We've gone from the Kingman blue turquoise big ring to the band ring, and now we're moving into our flower ring. And talk about a bouquet that will never wilt, that will last forever. And again, beautiful paracut stones as well from the Sleeping Beauty mine in Globe, Arizona, and they're gorgeous. And I like the split shank on the side too on this one too, Paul. I love how it hugs the finger too for our customers.
And the other thing that I did, I always like to texture silver sometimes in my designs, because we always talk about the Mohs scale of hardness and how a gemstone can be scratched. Well, your metal can also be scratched. And so sometimes if you do what I did here, where we put the band and we textured it, it's going to hide a multitude of sins, because even though I always tell people, no gem is indestructible, not even a diamond. Treat them with care and respect, but there's things you can do in the design phase that can kind of hide or prevent any visible scratches. And that's what we did with this ring.
Well, it's so comfortable, but again, the fact that you can offer our customers Sleeping Beauty turquoise for prices that we have on GemStoneVogue.com is really incredible, with all that design element that you also give our customers too, and the color, and 4 pairs that you have on the finger. And when you look at this, it just makes you happy, doesn't it? This color is so beautiful and so soothing, but also known to be a healing stone and a protective stone as well, which I also love about turquoise.
And definitely historical stone as well. I will say about what you said about this ring, which is great. Color. How many times did I beat it in your head when we were working together? I said,
about 2,000 times.
I said, what are the 3 most important things about a colored gemstone? And I always had fun with that, because every once in a while I'd see that deer in the headlights look that a host would give me, like, wait a minute, I didn't know I'd be quizzed on this. And I'd say, well, number 1 is color. Okay, what's number 2? And they're like, oh, cut? I'm like, nope, color. What's number 3? Color. Color. Most important thing, you're so right.
I'm going to brag about you a little bit more, because I've known you for many, many years, and I've watched you on other networks before you and I worked together. But you've been in the industry now for how many years?
30 years.
It's crazy, isn't it? How
yeah,
time
started
flies
when
when you're having
15.
fun. I know.
No, actually, I'm 60 now. I'm not going to lie. So yeah, I actually got into this game of the shopping channels late. Everybody was younger when I got in it than me then.
But you came in with more wisdom, which I also love.
I don't think that's true. But no, I do love this ring. And the other thing I do want to tell you, that even after the mine closed and it was tougher and tougher to get, I would say that 90% of all the turquoise that was being made into Sleeping Beauty pieces were 6 by 4 millimeters or smaller.
Yeah. And these are a beautiful size, a carat 53 total weight,
Right.
over 4 grams of precious sterling silver, and they are 6x4 like you just mentioned.
Yep.
And now we also have the fabulous pendant. We're going back into another part of Arizona, back to the Kingman mine.
Yes.
And this beautiful pendant, again, a huge center Kingman turquoise. It's big, isn't it?
Well, this is very, very, very rare, and let me explain why again. It comes from a single piece of turquoise. I did a lesson on my Color Gemstone Academy, which is on my YouTube channel, Paul DC Gemstones, and I was talking about the Kingman mine, and I show you some of the mining process, and I showed how they reclaim a lot of the other stuff. When we are out there, once they uncover the vein, everything stops, and we're sitting there with pickaxes and picking anything like the size of your hand to drop in the bucket, and everything else just stays in a pile. Well, then they take a big bulldozer and they take it to that pile, and then they drop it in this hopper, and then they put it on a conveyor belt that goes through a little mobile home with people picking out the little pieces. And so most of, I'd say 60 to 70% of Kingman turquoise is from those littler pieces. But to get, and I want to, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm thinking it's
18 by 13 millimeter.
That's huge. And again, every time, because it has to come from a single piece of rough, every millimeter size that it goes up, the price goes up exponentially by the millimeter. So think of a 6x4, and now we're talking about an 18 by 13. Great, great color. It's really one of the biggest pieces, but because it comes with the chain as well, remember, a lot of silver weight on this as well.
And also, I like a little bit of matrix kind of running through the stone too, which I really think is unusual. So no two stones will be completely alike.
That's really the magic of turquoise. Wow. And even though when people talk about Sleeping Beauty and being that robin's egg blue and no matrix, that's actually not the most expensive turquoise. Like if you get something from Kingman that would be a bird's eye with black spiderweb matrix in that, you might spend $1,000 a carat for that material. The thing that's amazing about Kingman is there's such a variety that comes from that mine.
And like you were saying, Paul, this is a huge, huge, huge piece of turquoise. Again, 18 by 13 millimeter. Also, almost 11 grams of precious sterling silver. The chain's inclusive, by the way. I'm sorry, almost 11 carats of gemstone weight. And then almost 9 grams of precious sterling silver with the chain inclusive. And I'm going back to the color again because I know you told me this. You really made me say this 1,000 times. But the color is so important. And this Kingman high blue color is just so, again, uplifting and happy and beautiful, and it goes with everything too as far as colors go, which I also love.
And I also know, and from what I told you before, this came from lower in the mine. They're literally, Libby, they're moving mountains. They're taking and they're shaving off portions and shaving off portions, and then they move it to somewhere else, and then they go to another area of the mine.
How many deep do you go down into the mine when you are mining turquoise?
You go to almost, what the level below the mountain is, because that's where the copper deposits are. Remember, none of these guys that have these leases at the mine, they don't own the land. The copper companies own the land, and they spend millions and millions and millions of dollars, and it's only by their good graces that you can lease the land from them to do the turquoise on. And there's times they're going to say, you can't work here anymore because we're going to be extracting copper. But you cannot have turquoise without copper. Mm-hmm. There are other blue stones or blue-green stones in the Southwest. One is called veracite. Veracite is identical to turquoise in every single way, except there's no copper. No copper, no turquoise.
Mm-hmm. So again, everybody, if you'd love to own anything from Paul's collection, it's so exciting to have him here and have him on gemsonvogue.com, because everything online is just so beautiful. The peridot that you have, the turquoise that you have, and the fact that you have the most expensive turquoise in the world and the rarest without the big high price tag, which I also love because it's direct to consumer pricing, and you work directly with the manufacturer, Nathan Hennick and Company.
Yeah, and it's so exciting for me because I've never been able to give these kind of prices. With customer service, it's just a phone call away. You actually talk to a human being.
It's so good.
What a concept, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it. And you have not even seen, we haven't even scratched the surface of what we can do in turquoise.
And speaking of earrings, because our girls are saying, what about some earrings? Because I've got the ring, I've got the pendant, I've got the other ring. We have some brand new earrings to offer you too in two different shapes. We have the oval, then we also have the pear cut. And we're going back to the Sleeping Beauty Mine. And Paul, why do they call it the Sleeping Beauty Mine?
I'm glad you asked me that question, because what I'm hoping, because I don't have the ability right now, but I could probably send Tony. Tony is Libby's husband, for those of you that don't know. I will send him a picture of the mountain range that is just above where the Sleeping Beauty mine was taking place. And it's funny, when you're in the mine, you don't see it. When you drive away from the mine, and Judy and I did that probably 5-6 miles up the road and shot back in that direction, you see what looks like a woman lying on her back. The flowing hair, everything says woman.
Exactly.
And it's really awe-inspiring, but that's how it got the name Sleeping Beauty, and she has been guarding that turquoise ever since.
And imagine, ladies, these earrings next to your face, because that robin's egg blue color, that matrix-free robin's egg blue, is so beautiful. Again, your choice in the oval or the pear cut, they're brand new. And again, they're getting almost 75 carats of gemstone weight. Also, they're 6x4 stones. You get 2 of those, of course. And Paul, is it difficult to even match Sleeping Beauty turquoise as well when you're matching?
Well, it really
2
does,
stones?
because everybody thinks, well, it all comes out of there as Sleeping Beauty, robin's egg blue. That's not true. Some are a little lighter, some are a little deeper, and it's crucial, not just if you're doing the band ring that we had earlier, but for earrings. If they're even a little bit off in color, it would be glaringly apparent. Now, are these the biggest earrings I've done? No, I have some bigger ones. You can check on GEMSONVogue.com. But what I wanted everybody to be able to play, I wanted everybody to be able to say, I own a piece of Americana Sleeping Beauty. So they're not the biggest. They're the 6x4 millimeters. But I had to eat a little humble pie one time, because I always love to get feedback from the customers. And I remember talking to somebody saying, you don't want to have a little small earring. And then somebody finally said to me, Paul, you realize some of us have a second piercing that we need to have.
That's right.
A little
I'm not brave enough to do that, but there are people that do that.
Yes, and they want the smaller earring for that. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. I'm an idiot. And wasn't the first time I was wrong.
But these show up, though.
Oh, they do.
These really show up beautifully.
It's a color. I was doing one of the Gem Miner shows with Michael Valatutti, my good friend, who also
How much fun was that?
It's a blast. I mean, it's so rare to
He
have
has no energy, though, does he, Paul?
No,
There's
none whatsoever. I wish he would drink some coffee or something.
I know.
But it's very rare to have a couple of people on the same website that have gone to mines and experienced all that goes into that.
Do you have a favorite mine that you've been to? I mean, is there one would like to go to again? But I mean, they're so. It's not. It's a very scary thing and dangerous thing to go into a mine.
I've loved them all. I would say still one of my favorites is Kingman. Sleeping Beauty was obviously amazing, but we didn't have too much time to enjoy that because it shut down. Going to the Outback in Australia and the opals was
fun. One
of the most awe-inspiring. It's a very, very brutal climate and land, but it's just amazing people. And it was. And then you go to Brazil and you go to the amethyst mines, and it's. I've been blessed, I guess, to go to all of these places.
Yeah. And I love the fact what you've done with this collection. You've really brought in your favorites. You've been to the mines, the peridot, we talked about that. Now we have turquoise in this show. We have some opal coming up, I think, in another show in the future.
Yeah.
And let's move into some really just incredible bracelets, because the bracelets our customers are about to see, they're brand new from Paul DEASY's collection. And Paul, 220 carats of wow and genuine gemstones on the wrist. Your choice of the sodalite, that beautiful blue. We also have the tiger's eye, that fabulous kitty cat. Love the tiger's eye. The black agate, which goes with everything, of course. We also have the labradorite with the labradorescence. The green jade, which is so beautiful, and then that beautiful pink with the matrix and the rhodonite. So all these colors, and Paul, take it away, because these are fabulous.
We when we talk about the carat weight, we approximate that because these are opaques, and we're doing it by the gram weight. There's going to be a little bit because every gemstone has a different, what we call specific gravity. But the average in the 230 is, I'm going to see 220 is only counting everything but the two end stones, and the two end stones bring it up to 230 carats. This is the black agate. And as you said, you would not think of having a wardrobe without something in black or something in white.
Gotta have this one.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So these are great. This is from the quartz family of gemstones called chalcedony. It is beautiful, just midnight black. And they say that this is a stone of new beginnings.
And I think everyone's got some new beginnings, right? Everyone's doing new things, which is fabulous. And the sodalite, that beautiful kind of, that beautiful powdery, beautiful blue, kind of a denim blue, is known to give you emotional balance, which I need some emotional balance right now. I love how these wrap around too.
I don't just need emotional balance. I probably need a psychiatrist.
Well, maybe this will help you instead.
Well, the thing I love about this stone, this is very similar, although lighter in color than lapis. You know how much I love lapis, which is more of a sapphire blue. In fact, sometimes you have this sodalite, some of the same ingredients in lapis, but to me it's like that washed denim. And it's such a great stone. It's such a great color.
And then we also have, okay, the labradorite, which is so expensive in the marketplace. If you can find it, it has a labradorescence. Is that correct? What does labradorescence mean?
Labradorescence, and sometimes they call it schiller. It happens because there's these fractures inside the stone that are bending the light in different ways back to your eye. Now, full disclosure, when I give you a ring or I give you a bracelet in labradorite, which I'm going to be doing because it's one of my favorite gemstones, I think it's one of the most affordable, what we call phenomenal stones, meaning it has an optical phenomenon. But to get 230 carats for $29, it's not going to have the best labradorescence that you're going to see in some of the rings and things that I'm doing. But I wanted you to be able to own labradorite in a big package of 230 carats. Oh, and I should mention one thing. I'll
Sure.
talk about it on the next one because I know we've got a lot to get through.
And the next one is going to be the green jade. And again, I love the green jade. It is so, again, the healing properties, the history behind jade is so incredible too.
Well, the jade is, you know, when we talk about, I always hate the term, but when we talk about precious gemstones in the United States, we're usually talking about, you know, rubies, emeralds, sapphires, diamonds. Well, this in the Far East would be considered the most precious of all of the gems, and it's called jade. First of all, it is tenacious, and what do I mean by that? We talk about the scratch test for a gemstone called the Mohs scale of hardness. That means what stone can scratch another stone. Well, this is okay, 6 to 7 on the Mohs scale of hardness, but then there's something called the toughness test, and that's the ability to withstand cracking and chipping altogether. This is the only gem on earth that is rated exceptional in toughness. So if you're a little bit, let's say, on the careless side with your gem, this should be the first bracelet you get. $29, 230 carats of jade.
And you can stack 2 or 3 together too. They're really fun.
Absolutely.
They're flexible. They're comfortable. Easy on, easy off.
Whoever
and
said,
then what about?
whoever
go
said
ahead.
less is more was lying to you. More,
That's right. More is more. And the price tag is so good too. Okay, our last one is a rhodonite, that beautiful pink with some matrix running through it too. It's really fabulous.
Yes, this is a gorgeous gemstone. It might confuse you because there's rhodonite and there's rhodochrosite. Now, rhodochrosite is similar, except instead of the black in here, you would have more white in there. But this is exceptional. I will tell you, the last show that I went to in Tucson, they had a booth right off the Speedway, all those little hotels, and every piece of rhodochrosite, every piece of rhodonite was selling out. I don't know what it is about the pink. I don't know.
Well, it's Libby Pink, Floyd. I love the pink. It's all about the love too, rhodonite, which I also love. And again, another healing stone as well. And Paul, speaking of love, and a way to end the show is we all love you. We all love your collection, and everybody can shop on gemsonvogue.com and get everything on there at amazing prices, exclusive pieces. And I love the fact when they shop too and spend $75 or more, free shipping and handling.
Love that.
And again, your designs are fabulous, and what a great show this is with all of your favorites when it comes to Kingman turquoise and also Sleeping Beauty turquoise and all these great bracelets.
Well, I'm looking forward to the next show, of course, and probably, I don't know, a week or two after this. But it is going to be featuring Ethiopian opal, I think.
Yes, one of my favorites too. It's my birthstone, so I love that.
But what's different about this one, for the first time, and I never did this in rings or anything in any of my other visits to any other shopping channels, but I found some of the golden body color of the Ethiopian opal. Keep your eye out for that, because you'll see a lot more red flash in that than you did in the white Ethiopian opal. I'll have both, of course, but it may be your first chance to see that.
Well, I can't wait. Paul, thanks for bringing the fabulous turquoise from the Kingman Mine and Sleeping Beauty Mine in Globe, Arizona. Have a fabulous day. And again, everybody keep shopping on gemsonvogue.com. And Paul, we'll see you soon.
Thank you. Thank you for watching, guys.
Bye.